Hello and welcome to our discussion about working with a Reno coach today. This is a new trend that's showing up these days, and if you're planning a Reno project in your home, you won't want to miss out on this conversation. We would love to hear from you during the stream, so please feel free to chime in with any comments or questions that you might have. And please feel free to share this to your friends who might also be planning a renovation right now. We'd love to get in communication with them. So now it's time for Ario to share the Ario wisdom, and he's going to tell us all about what a Reno coach is and what this service can do for you. Take it away.
Hello there, how are you? Yes, today we are having another warm day in Vancouver.
Oh, so. Got that right. I don't have air conditioning.
Oh, we have an episode about how to keep yourself cool in a warm weather in one of our blogs, right? Or in our conversation.
Oh, we do.
Yeah, so we can refer to that again. Anyhow, talking about Reno Coach. What is Reno Coach anyway? So, see, when you're trying to learn a musical instrument, you hire a trainer. If you want to learn how to drive, you hire a trainer. When you want to learn almost anything, or you want to do something, you hire somebody to help you. But when it comes to a big investment in our house, we rely on people's opinion. It could be our neighbors, it could be a first contractor in Craigslist, or it could be a trade who just they're focusing on that one particular part of the whole project. For some reason, people lacking that knowledge that there has to be a better way that can find some people that they can basically train them to their mindset, how the process is going to start and shape from the idea all the way to the final project. This is not just for only renovation. It could apply for a construction of a laneway house, a construction of a garage, addition. Could be to apply to a custom home you want to build. What knowledge, what basically you're getting with this Reno Coach sessions are first of all, the feasibility study. What you are thinking about, what do you want to do, and what are the pros and cons of what you're thinking of, what you want to achieve. Is it worth the cost? Are you prepared for the cost? Do you have all the tools in terms of the connections, in terms of, is it even possible what you're thinking of? In terms of the structure, is it possible or not? In terms of the city, is it possible or not? I was in touch with, or I've been contacted with by a contractor friends who took me to a job site, and the clients was an artist, and they had vision a lot of things in their house, and they were thinking about to do a lot of different changes, but without knowing that many of those changes even not possible. So that, before engaging a contractor, putting themselves in the risk of thousands of their hard-earned money to the process, they even sometimes people start the work without getting the permit, and then they realize, oh my God, they even were not possible. They were not even allowed to do those kind of changes because of the rules, city rules, or whatever it is. So in that conversation, I found out that their zoning bylaw doesn't allow the changes they are looking for, and immediately after that session they found out they have to take a different road toward improvement of their house. So that saved them thousands of dollars for making a big mistake. So it was very helpful for them to understand they have to hire a Reno coach before starting the project.
So if somebody is going to work with you, what kind of projects would need permits? For instance, if you're doing a bedroom or redoing your kitchen, do you need permits there? Your expertise obviously is going to guide them through that initial stage of the process. So talk about that for a minute. At what point do you need permits?
Almost every project that relates to exterior envelope, if you're extending the house in balcony or anywhere you adding the floor area, for sure it needs a permit. If you're adding a secondary suite, it needs a permit. Right. If you're adding a garage, you need a permit. And even in some municipalities recently, even if you're removing a wall, you need a permit. And not only permit, even you need even a structure engineer to sign off that.
Right.
The reason behind that is several reasons. First of all, they want to make sure that you're not encroaching to the setbacks of the allowable setbacks that you have in your premises. The other one is they want to make sure that somebody is responsible in terms of the stability of the building or stability of the project you're doing. And who's that person? Is a structure engineer. City doesn't want to get in a lawsuit, so that's why they want to have somebody else with their insurance and everything else to be responsible, which is a designer, structural engineer, and the contractor. And everybody has to be licensed within that municipality. You cannot hire somebody who doesn't have a license.
I think also something that people may not be fully aware of, or maybe they'd rather not be aware of it, is that if you're making changes with plumbing and electrical, there's an impact if you don't approach that professionally, isn't there?
Yes, of course, but 90% of the time people hire a contractor, or let's say a plumber. Yes. And the plumber should take the permit anyway. When I'm talking about a building permit, it's a little wider area I'm covering. Right. But like specifically, you're talking about changing a facade, or I'm sorry, a faucet or something like that. Then you most of the time you get a licensed plumber. If you don't hire a licensed plumber, then I'm so sorry for you. I've heard that sometimes if you are a professional, like for example, if you're a plumber yourself, you can work on your own your own house without getting the permit, or I don't remember how was that. I think you have to get a permit, but you don't have to be licensed. Ooh. As long as you're working in your own house.
Right.
So that is yeah, you gotta get a permit, but you don't have to have a license if you're working on your own house. But hey, how many people know how to do all the plumbing and electrical and everything? So we better rely on expertise and experience of other professionals, because if something happened, you don't want to put all your belongings, your assets on the jeopardies. Something happened to the house or to your home, who's going to pay for those? Insurance is not going to cover that. As soon as they find out, oh, you did some renovation here, or you did some work on the your premises, and no, you don't picked up a permit, you didn't even hire a professional. Oh, okay, that could be an excuse not to pay you the insurance money.
Yeah, so there's certainly peace of mind going along with hiring a Reno coach. So let's talk about what the costs involved are of hiring REO, the Reno coach, to work with you. How does that work?
So Reno Coaches has several different stages. We can have either just the front side, just before you start the project, get us involved. We spend 1 hour on site and 1 hour in the office, which basically be a 2 hours session for $500, that we explain you what is this about, what do you want, what are you looking for. They'll give you a feasibility study, needs and options review, whatever you want to call it. In certain extent, if it's going to go too deep, like how many square foot you can build, then that's going to be a bit larger. We have to spend more time on that. It's going to be more than 1 hour. Besides that, we need a whole lot more information. But we give you a bird eye view of what you have to do. Even we can give you a booklet that explains the process, what you have to know, prepare, and mentally for yourself, with your family, whether you're facing. There are times happen that I had clients that they already hired a contractor. They were in the process of renovation, and that renovation, for example, didn't need a permit because they were all interior work. They were refinishing, like changing the some doors, changing baseboards, changing the flooring, painting, all these kind of things. They didn't have a permit. That was okay. But then the homeowner had some disagreement with the contract, which I had several projects like that, and they want to hire me as a Reno coach. I'm not an inspector. It is an entirely different story. If you want to get an inspector hired, that is a different ballpark, entirely different restrictions and everything else, different insurance. We don't act as an inspector, we act as a coach, as a helper. Because as soon as you bring an inspector, you already escalating the situation to an extra level that you want to make sure you will go to the court or something like that. In these cases that I had, the client didn't want to go to that point. They wanted to find a better solution, find an opinion, a second opinion, not going through what did you do wrong, what did you do correct, what did you do wrong. We just give a second opinion to the client to understand what could have been done by either parties to create a better situation and how you can solve this situation. Whereas an inspector, their point is just finding the flaws and the right report, and that is a whole lot of different things.
So you're helping people find a pathway forward, and
exactly.
That's wonderful.
The knowledge behind this is for 35 years of experience with dealing with so many different type of contracts, not only interior design, not only architectural design, but even let's say licensed builder. We have all the insurances behind us and all the knowledge, all the bonds and everything to make sure we are serving the public the best way possible.
That's wonderful. Like, you're into conflict resolution too.
You can say that too, yes. In a more friendlier way.
Yes.
Because when you know the lawyers are defending you, we are conflict resolution. We are just trying to find a solution for you.
Well, you're taking people through to the end of the project in a way where they're going to be satisfied and their dollars will be well spent, and their ultimate goal of improving their home is achieved.
Exactly. The reason that I brought up being builder is there are times that every builder has their own way of doing things. Everybody has their own way of routine, and no two contractors does the same things almost exactly the same way. Everybody has different methods, but having a person who's been in a different part of the industry, understands the methodology, and have the interactive experience, it can help not only the clients but even the contractors to understand better. Because when you are a contractor, you become you feel that not of course not all the contractors are like that, but when you become your hired contractor, then you see it's either my way or highway, which is not always the best way. So we help them to open up their heart, open up their mind, and see there are other ways to do things which can get a better result for the homeowner at the end of the day, because that's what's important anyway.
That's wonderful. I think it's a great process, and people end up with what they want instead of being. I've had contractors before who had, as you say, their way of doing things, and they weren't really open to finding a new way of doing something.
Yeah.
So I'm compromising on what I'm paying for, and I would rather not have done that.
See, I've heard a lot of this phrase from many contracts. I am doing this for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing this for 25 years. But if you're doing something wrong for 25 years, you're doing something wrong for 25 years.
Yeah, good point.
And besides that, the technology 25 years ago, the technique of construction 25 years ago was different than today. If you're
Yes.
doing the same thing as 30 years ago, then my friend, you gotta learn new techniques because everything else is changing. The same way as we didn't have many things, many material even that is today we have available that was not available 30 years ago. So we have to educate ourselves on a quarterly basis.
Yeah. It's like working in technology. You have to update yourself weekly.
Yep, I was trying to be careful about that weekly because many people really don't have the time. I'm learning almost every day, and I'm open. I mean, if you're not open to learn, then you're going to be behind the trend.
Yeah. And the whole concept of being a Reno coach is a new trend. So people who are out there renovating right now, they're doing things in new ways now. So I love this idea. I think it's wonderful.
And most importantly, you are going through an emotional roller coaster when you're going through a construction process. Doesn't matter if it's renovation or a home, a new home, a new house. The emotional roller coaster is the money that you're gonna spend, and you don't know the result until it's finished.
Yes.
And you don't know who you're dealing with, and there's so many unknowns on your front that you have to face it. And if you deal it by yourself alone, then you're exposing yourself to many unfortunate situations that can go wrong. You might say, okay, I hired the best guy. I hired my friend as a contractor, but trust me, there's so many times that those friends end up to be doing something that it might not be the best, give you a best result. And other options that we offer in Reno Coach that I didn't mention is during the process, sometimes we get involved and we do a contract management, which basically we're going to be hired on hourly base, and then we come to depends on the size of the project. Sometimes we just give them a lump sum cost. So it depends on the size of the process and the project. We manage to come every several stages of the project, and before even a city inspector comes, we come and take a look to make sure things are done properly. Of course, as I said, I'm not trying to downgrade any of the contractors' work, but things going to be done different way with every contractor. So we just want to make sure things are done in a way that is not going to cause any problem later on. Because as it says, every contractor just think their own way. They're thinking of, or like every trades basically, they're focused on their own way. And a conductor, like a contractor, it can be a conductor that has to make sure that everything goes smoothly, and having a smooth transition to a better construction. But there are times that the contractor by themselves are busy with so many different jobs that they cannot have a full eye on one project. So that's where a Reno coach can help the homeowner to have an extra eye on a contractor. It's a modest cost or expense or investment, but it really goes far beyond that they spend. It's very good return on investment.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. All right. Well, do we want to add anything more to this conversation?
I cannot think of anything at the moment, but hey, everybody is just welcome to visit our websites. I actually have a website particularly for Reno Coach called myrenovator.ca. that we are in a process of rebuilding it, but is available at the moment. You can
We'll put that in comments, actually.
Sure.
Well, once this stream starts going live, we'll make sure that's in comments.
And everybody who is in the process of starting a project, even not just thinking of something, I really encourage to hire somebody, a Reno coach, to help them to understand the process, to take them to the right path.
That's awesome. And I guess now we'll just thank everybody for joining us this week. We'd sure love to hear your feedback, and do take time to visit the Reno Coach website. We'll put the link in comments, and chime in with any questions or and comments that you might have. The stream will be available to watch in the next couple of hours. So there'll be encore performances streaming for the rest of the week, and we'll see you next week for another great discussion with Healthy Life, Healthy Home. Thank you for watching.
Awesome. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye-bye.